Yeah.
Apologies for the interruption. We do have some more information related coming our viewers' way. US President Donald Trump said on Sunday there's a good chance of reaching a hostage deal with Hamas this week, raising hopes for a major breakthrough ahead of his White House meeting with the Israeli Prime Minister today. Speaking to reporters while departing Morristown, New Jersey, Trump said quite a few remaining hostages could be released soon, adding that indirect talks in Qatar were making progress. Netanyahu has departed for Washington, and he said his negotiating team was sent to Doha with clear instructions and that he believed the conversation with Trump could help advance the outcome we are all hoping for. This is what the Israeli Prime Minister had to say.
פועלים להשיג את העסקה הזאת שדובר עליה בתנאים שאנחנו הסכמנו לה. שלחתי צוות למשא ומתן עם הנחיות ברורות, ואני חושב שהשיחה עם הנשיא טראמפ יכולה בהחלט לעזור לקדם את התוצאה הזאת שכולנו מייחלים לה.
We're once again joined by Daniel Boardman to discuss this further. Daniel, we just saw and heard Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. How much pressure is that man under? We have seen him. We have seen his ongoing corruption trial, which has been going for about 5 years now, consistently stalled due to security reasons, but he still remains as in the position of Prime Minister. Also, we've seen mass protests across the cities throughout Israel, and now Donald Trump and his want for a ceasefire in the region. How much pressure is Benjamin Netanyahu under, given these circumstances?
Yeah, I think he's under a lot of pressure. I mean, the corruption charges have been sort of knocked down. I mean, if you brought those corruption charges against any other world leader, most other countries would laugh them off at this point. But he is under immense pressure domestically on a hostage deal. I mean, Israelis do want the return of the hostages. That is a very big thing. The hostages have immense media and public support in Israel. So, I mean, there is great will to get a deal done to get the hostages out in Gaza, but there's other pressure from, I mean, again, Israel's a small country and everyone volunteered, and when they recalled reserves after October 7th, there was more than 100%, over 100% reporting rate to the reserves. And there is a general consensus that the war in Gaza is dragging on, and no one wants to go into Gaza, but the reason why they went into Gaza as a country is so this would be the last time they ever went into Gaza. So there is immense pressure to get the hostages home, but there is also immense pressure from the populace to not give up all the war gains and then just say, okay, hostage deal, we'll release thousands of terrorists, we'll get some hostages back, we'll go back to the status quo, we'll just pretend it's October 6th, we'll let Hamas or another Islamist militant group build up their strength again, and then when they're strong enough, they'll rush the border, and then we'll get October 7th 2.0. No one wants that. So, I mean, Hamas is sort of asking for, everything in return for half of the hostages they have remaining. So, I mean, you could see, if Israel manages to get to sort of a Hezbollah ceasefire, where they have total dominance and they got Hezbollah to agree to a situation where basically Israel has full reign to, if they feel like Hezbollah is starting to stockpile weapons or munitions or do anything nefarious, they can just take military action and everyone has to agree with it. So that's sort of the conditions of the Hezbollah ceasefire, which is how they got the Israelis into it to begin with. And as you see, every time Hezbollah acts up or they try and store weapons or get something going, the Israelis just sort of stop them in their tracks, and that's what they've been doing since the ceasefire. So if there's a Hezbollah-esque ceasefire in Gaza where you don't have these macabre parades of dead bodies and hostages where everyone's celebrating all that, and you don't have these sort of Hamas power displays where if Hamas tries to sort of regain power, an Israeli drone just sort of takes out the group of militants and they're unable to do it. And the other question we'll have to find out is how strong are the anti-Hamas militant factions within Gaza? We've seen now 3 potential tribal factions have a blood feud with Hamas. If Israel can find a way to coexist with the tribal factions in Gaza, and Hamas loses its hostage leverage, I think you could find a peace, or a sort of a peaceful equilibrium, if not
Yes.
a ceasefire. I mean, you could find that, but there's still a lot of chips that need to fall, and we're not quite sure who's the dominant faction if you remove the IDF, and will the IDF be removed?
Daniel, yes, we have.